about that. And there's also been this very interesting story as of late that has come out, especially when it pertains to Mauro Ranallo and what's happened with him over the past couple of months. If you guys have been noticing, Mauro Ranallo has not been on SmackDown Live when it comes to him being the play-by-play commentator. And now there's a lot of rumors, a lot of speculation as to what exactly is going on with this whole story. There's Jacob, is there any way we could get the phone number on the screen?
Oh, yeah. Actually, I think it's about to come up. I had it sweat.
So okay. So if you guys want to call in, I'm kind of by my lonesome right now, 366-8951, area code 337-366-8951. And I gotta say, when it comes to this, one of the big rumors, as I make sure we are live on YouTube, as well as apparently we're having issues connecting. I'm hoping everybody can see me, because apparently YouTube and Twitch are being, especially the chats, are being quite temperamental. Let me go to the phone lines real quick. Hey, Corey, sorry we weren't here last week. Corey, how you doing?
How y'all doing?
Well, it's just little old me this week. I'm not sure where Nick is. I'm hoping he'll be coming by very shortly. But the story I was going to talk about with Mauro Ranallo, Corey, is the whole situation that, well, there's a rumor going around that JBL kind of strong-armed and quote-unquote bullied him. And it's a lot of speculation. Justin Roberts, who was a former ring announcer with WWE, had an excerpt in his latest book saying that, quote, JBL had asked a friend of his to basically steal his passport when they were in London, and basically just kind of hazing Justin Roberts. So the likelihood of JBL bullying somebody is there, even though he adamantly denies it, and he specifically stated about Justin Roberts' passport, which kind of has me, that's kind of suspect at best, if you know what I mean, Corey. But this whole situation, apparently what people are saying now, Corey, is JBL quote-unquote bullied Mauro Ranallo, and Mauro Ranallo went into a state of depression, and what the word is now that Mauro Ranallo is done with the WWE. Now, WWE, from what I've heard, they're trying to like renegotiate a deal of some sort, but so far it's not looking good. And I gotta say, Corey, if we lose Mauro Ranallo, I'm gonna be quite upset, because he was probably one of the best voices on SmackDown.
I got a comment though. Why they can't move JBL?
JBL apparently is in the good graces with Vince McMahon. From what I've heard. Hold
on. Look what he did though. That man, the best commentator they got.
Yeah, I know. I 100% agree with you on that one. But apparently JBL's kind of has tenure in WWE, kind of like that. I'm just going based on speculation, because he's prone. A lot of people are there to back him up when it comes to these types of situations. And apparently, like I said, he's in the good graces of Vince McMahon. Vince loves the guy. Vince loves JBL. And a lot of people are there to back him up. So he has a lot of people basically in the higher ups. Even though there is a petition to, quote, fire JBL. In fact, a lot of people who have come to WWE SmackDown Live, who show up with hashtag fire JBL signs, have been kicked out of the theater by the security. So to me, that's a little bit suspect, Corey. I don't know what you think about that.
He need to be kicked out because he don't do nothing like that.
And we are now live on Twitch, and thank you to Code Lions for hosting the stream. Be sure you check out the Code of Honor eFed. That's on twitch.tv/Code Lions, CODELIONS. Great eFed, and Code Lions is a great commentator for COH, and I highly suggest you guys check him out.
Like that, bro.
eFed is basically. He set up his own video game wrestling league, is what it is, Corey. That's what Code of Honor is. It's kind of a video game wrestling league.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, like with WWE 2K17, except they all have their own created characters.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So whenever you get a chance, go to twitch.tv/CODELIONS, Code Lions. It's a great show, and Code Lions is a personal friend of mine, so.
Oh, you know it?
Oh, yes, I know him. We've been friends for quite some time on the internet, so.
You could call in on it? You could call it?
I'm not sure how it would go because he broadcasts it off of his Xbox Live, his Xbox One account. And we're not exactly in the same area code. If you kind of know what I mean, Corey?
Yeah.
But one other thing I want to talk with you about before we get to the Superstar Shakeup is fans have started 2 petitions this week, Corey. Let me tell you about them. The first one is to have Braun Strowman fired after his attack on Roman Reigns this past week, which has...
Oh, yes, I totally agree.
Yeah, which has right now about 2,500 signatures. Corey, there was no way Braun Strowman legit picked up an ambulance on Monday Night Raw.
No.
We even saw the jack in the lower left-hand corner of the screen.
No, he didn't do that himself.
You know, he may be a big guy, but an ambulance has got to be, I don't know, heavy.
He didn't do that himself.
I don't know, but if you guys watching in the chat room, if you guys want to, if you guys have a different opinion about that, I'll put them in the chat, and I'll definitely read them out loud for everybody.
I can't see him picking up an ambulance by himself.
Yeah, but the fact that the fans are starting a petition to have Strowman fired over it is just kind of ridiculous. But here's the even more ridiculous one, Corey. Hold on, it gets even more ridiculous after this. There's another petition to have Roman Reigns fired because fans, quote, just don't like him.
Why?
Well, he says so in the following statement. He says, quote, Roman Reigns is a lame-ass wannabe wrestler. I don't get why WWE keep taunting us fans with, quote, make Roman look strong thing. We don't like Roman Reigns. Fans all around the world booed their guts out. Still, WWE pushed him and booked him to defeat the legend himself, The Undertaker. Now, the fans are more pissed than ever, but Roman is still there, acting like he deserves this. This BS needs to stop. And you know what? I agree. This BS about fans thinking that they actually know how to call a wrestling promotion needs to stop. Unless you're actively involved, you have no idea the inner goings on in a wrestling promotion. And for you to sit there, whoever started this petition, for you to sit there and actually think you know more about running a wrestling company than the actual people themselves, to me, is absolutely absurd. Absolutely absurd.
Stupid.
Go ahead, Corey.
It's stupid.
Exactly.
It's stupid.
You know, unless you know what it's like to be back there, to know all the intricacies, all of the inner details.
They go through.
Yes. There's so many things that people don't know about the wrestling industry, Corey, that goes on behind the scenes.
Why you think they practice that? Why you think they get injured?
I think the reason why they did that on Monday Night Raw is because there's so much heat on Roman Reigns for beating The Undertaker in what is, quote, his last match. And I know we didn't get to talk last week about WrestleMania, but last week on Monday Night Raw, he just stood out there and just endured a booing, and he just kind of took it on the chin. You kind of know what I'm...
But the thing about it is, don't get me wrong, Undertaker, that's the man, yes. I respect that. Now Roman Reigns did what he had to do. But they could have at least give Undertaker one more match.
I don't know if he can physically go for one more match, and I think that's probably why he's decided to call it his last match. I really don't know. I mean, he's got hip problems. I know he's got hip problems. I'm not sure.
But tell me if you agree with this.
As we're getting another call, we're getting a wireless call, and Caller, if you're listening to us right now, and it might be my friend James, Corey, so I might have to let you go in just a minute because I recognize the area code. I think it all boils down to he's up there in age, Corey. He's not a young guy anymore.
Yeah.
You know, even though he's of legendary status, he's not that young spry chicken, you know, that young buck that he used to be. You know, haven't you noticed as of late that in his matches that he's not usually dealing out the beatings of sorts, he's actually taking them?
Yeah. That's because he's getting old. Now what I was about to say. What y'all think about him going to TNA?
They wouldn't afford him. They couldn't afford him. And like I said, he is WWE loyal, The Undertaker. I don't see him going to TNA at all. And even if it was for just an advisory role, I would say not going to happen. Not going to happen.
Before I get off the line, I got 2 more questions for you.
All right, man.
My second question is, where you see Shinsuke Nakamura? SmackDown or Raw?
Well, he's already on SmackDown.
You think he's going to come out with a belt?
Well, right now, I think from what we saw on SmackDown Live this past week, Corey, is I think they're trying to put him together with Dolph Ziggler and have his initial angle on the main roster against Dolph Ziggler.
I see him in a couple of more months. I see him with the Intercontinental title.
Oh, no, I would surpass that and put the WWE title on him. Nakamura is main event status. Nakamura took the IWGP Intercontinental Championship, as Chauncey Bullock in the Twitch chat room says, rather WGS-TV.
And another thing, Amber Moon should have won that belt.
I agree. I have no idea why. And Corey, I'll go ahead and hang up, but just go ahead and listen to what I have to say on the show, okay?
All right.
All right. But anyway, thank you to Corey. And whoever's been calling, go ahead and call back in. The line is free. Thank you, by the way. It's hot in here. And it's James. Is that you? Hello, James.
What's up?
Basically, I am hosting the show by myself, so I'm kind of glad you called. But but on the topic of Shinsuke Nakamura, because that was the last thing I told Corey I was going to discuss as I was hanging up on him. I see him moving straight up to main event status. I don't think that Nakamura would need a secondary championship. And by the way, the secondary championship on SmackDown Live right now is the United States Championship. They kind of did that flip-flop this past week with the Superstar Shakeup. So now the Intercontinental Championship is on Raw, and the United States Championship is on SmackDown. And I don't think Nakamura needs to run with a secondary title. I mean, he took the IWGP Intercontinental Championship in New Japan and just soared that title belt into superstar status. And he made that title belt more prestigious than the actual IWGP Championship itself. People paid money to see him with the IWGP Intercontinental title. And I think WWE could take that charisma, take that energy that is Shinsuke Nakamura, and have him run as the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. James, what do you think about that?
I could see that, but at the same time, if you talked about the IWGP Intercontinental Championship, I think Shinsuke Nakamura, if done right, he can use that star power to elevate the U.S. title first before going after the WWE World title. Because imagine if he does go to the he's in main event status. I understand that, but I don't think it's that time because you have AJ Styles in front of him, and Shinsuke Nakamura is going to be just basically the top guy until John Cena comes back. We obviously know that, but I could see him with maybe a solid run with the U.S. title first before going with the WWE Championship.
And that's if WWE packages Nakamura correctly. It all boils down to that. I mean, they need to take what he's done, not only in NXT, but go back to his IWGP Intercontinental Championship run and take that and find some way to integrate that into a WWE storyline. And Nakamura has the potential. He has the charisma, the energy to make anything just soar. I mean, we've seen him do it with the IWGP Intercontinental Championship. If they put the U.S. title on him, then I kind of see that title doing the exact same thing because people will pay money to see Shinsuke Nakamura work. So, but
and imagine.
Go ahead.
Imagine if he ever fights for the world title. Imagine the feud with AJ Styles. I mean, that was his last feud before he went to NXT.
Oh, I actually saw the match. I'm not sure if it was at a Wrestle Kingdom or not.
Yeah, that was.
Okay.
That was.
Because I saw it on Access TV. But anyway, let's go ahead and kind of discuss now the superstar shakeup that has happened. For those of you who don't know already by now, the switch that has happened, the SmackDown Live stars that are now a part of Monday Night Raw are The Miz and Maurice, the Intercontinental Champion Dean Ambrose, Bray Wyatt, which has me a little bit confused since he has an opportunity at the WWE World Heavyweight Championship coming up soon. Alexa Bliss, Mickie James. I like Bliss and James on Raw. I love that. I thought that was a great addition, in my personal opinion, to the Monday Night Raw roster is James and Alexa Bliss. Kalisto, but I think the only reason, personally, James, they put Kalisto on Raw is to have him part of the Cruiserweight division.
Yeah, that's what I see. I think him being on SmackDown, really, you can't really do much with him, but putting him on Raw and putting him in the Cruiserweight division, that would help him a lot.
Yep, and we also got Heath Slater and Rhino, and for some odd reason, Kurt Hawkins. I have no idea. I guess just to be the guy that gets his butt beat every week. I'm not sure.
He couldn't handle the perfect 10, so he just decided to go on Raw, only to get knocked out.
Yeah, definitely. But anyway, now the Monday Night Raw guys, as Chauncey says, hashtag beat up Michael Cole in the Twitch chat. You say that every week. Now the Monday Night Raw guys that are going to SmackDown Live are United States Champion Kevin Owens, but they did say on this past week's SmackDown Live that whoever wins the United States Championship between Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho, and more than likely it's going to be Owens because of the rumors about Jericho going on tour. You know what I mean, James?
Yeah, he is scheduled to go on tour.
Yeah.
He is.
So more than likely Kevin Owens will be a part of the SmackDown Live roster, as well as Charlotte Flair, which is, to me, great news because now we'll finally see different talent in the main event spotlight on Monday Night Raw in the women's division, besides Charlotte, Sasha, and Bayley. The New Day. Now, here's what I found very interesting, James, is Rusev, then Lana. Not Rusev and Lana as one entity, one package. Rusev and Lana. And what I found really unique was the stripper-like vignette we saw out of Lana. I don't understand that. I mean, I thought they were packaging her to be just Rusev's valet.
Well, the thing is that, remember, she does wrestle. Yet she wrestles at house shows and only that one time at WrestleMania last year, but she wrestles. So while Rusev is hurt, he's still injured. Remember that. As long
With
as
the face?
he's out. Huh?
With his nose?
No, it was a shoulder. It was a shoulder injury that he suffered before Mania, so that's why he missed Mania. But as long as he's out, Lana has the chance to go elevate to the women's division for SmackDown. Now, I'll talk about the women's division on SmackDown later because I want to point out something.
Yep, and not only that, Sami Zayn, the Shining Stars, which who really cares? They need to ditch that gimmick off of Primo and Epico and put something else on them because it looked like the the shining stars weren't so shining after they attacked the American Alpha at the end of SmackDown Live.
No,
We also got
they ain't shiny. They ain't give out no packages and tell them to go to the Shining Stars Casino and resort.
Yep. We also got Sin Cara and Who Really Cares, Gender Steroids McGee Mahal, and the return of Tamina. James, for those of you who don't know my YouTube channel, WGS-TV, James is kind of known as the king of the divas correspondent.
Division.
Yeah, king of the women's division correspondent on my channel. So he knows a lot about this one. And I know that you have to be, was this the right time to bring Tamina back?
Let's say this. Was it the right time for Tamina to come back? Yes, because they're lacking in depth with the women's division. I mean, if you look at before the Shakeup, you only had 4 people plus a Nikki Bella, but she's going to be out for a good bit. She's still recovering from the neck injury. So Tamina back kind of helps up the women's division. I mean, I understand you have Lana also, but Lana, we haven't seen much of her since Mania. I mean, as I say, we do have her fighting a house show, but we haven't seen much of her. Charlotte, she kind of can also help out that star power with the SmackDown women's roster. Now, I told people this. I'm expecting these 2 feuds for Raw and for SmackDown at SummerSlam. For the Raw women's title, I say Bayley, Sasha. For the SmackDown women's title, Charlotte, Becky.
I kind of agree with you on that one. By the way, shout out to that guy Tone and Cam Troy in the YouTube chat room. How are you gentlemen doing? We're discussing the ins and the outs about the Superstar Shakeup and what's happened over the past week on Monday Night Raw. And not only that, but apparently Finn Balor is injured again.
Concussion, injury. Thank you, Jinder Mahal.
Yep, and I actually seen the, apparently it was with the knockout shot that he had, that he took that bump, but it was like square on the jaw, and you just saw his body flailing to the ground, and there were like matte brush burns all over his head and face. And a lot of different sites are reporting different things. I know Pro Wrestling Insider is reporting that it's a concussion. Another news site saying it's not as serious as a concussion. But there's really nothing substantial to say whether or not Balor's actually injured, James. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's still up in the air. If you see him compete on Monday, it's not that serious. If you don't see him on Monday, I think it's a concussion protocol. They got to check. They got to have him maybe out for a week or 2. He come back. He's fine.
Now, what are your opinions about this Superstar Shakeup? Because for me personally, like I just said, having Charlotte on SmackDown Live frees up the spotlight of sorts on the Raw women's roster, so that way it's just not the same women over and over again going after the Raw Women's Championship, albeit it is a very limited division, to say the least. But I gotta say, when you compare the Raw trades to SmackDown trades, who do you think got the better trades?
I would say more on Raw because I see more of that star power. I mean, for star power in SmackDown, who they got was more Kevin Owens and Charlotte. And kind of a side note, they can never separate Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, apparently. They can never separate them, apparently.
Yeah, I was reading about that, and everybody was just like, "Oh, it's, Owens and Zayn are friends. They gotta always be on the same show." And I did love how Kevin Owens was trying to sell it, though. And, even though we all know that Andy, he's our resident paranormal investigator over at StokeOnIt.com. Shout out to Andy. Apparently, Andy is the biggest Kevin Owens fan of all time. You know what I mean, James?
Yeah, I know what you mean. And, but going to this, it's just, I feel, with the Dean Ambrose, Dean Ambrose being on Raw, that can open up a reunion for the Shield. You've got, The Miz, he improved since going on SmackDown. I mean, yeah, he's still a total jerk, but he's improved. You know what I mean? And they can bring a lot of the, bring those guys who got traded from SmackDown to Raw elevate them more. Now, granted, I mean, New Day going to SmackDown, I question that, but I understand at the same time because of you took away most of the star power from SmackDown.
Yep.
Especially with Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt's one of the shocker to me.
Yeah, but apparently there's also reports about him having problems with the way that, he personally has problems with the way the WWE is booking him as of late. You're being booked as part of the WWE World Heavyweight Championship run. I think you should shut your mouth and go with the flow, if you know what I mean. I mean, you're getting a chance to be in the main event and work with someone the caliber of Randy Orton one more time before you get bumped up to what is supposed to be the flagship show. And just what happened on this week's Monday Night Raw? Well, we're about to tell you right now because it's time for the wrestling recap. So we opened up Monday Night Raw with what we thought was going to be John Cena and Nikki Bella making their Monday Night Raw appearance, but apparently it was Miz and Maurice with their hilarious parody. And I said for over the past, I want to say 3 or 4 weeks, James, when they did that parody of Total Bellas on SmackDown Live, I was laughing my head off. I thought that was just straight up hilarious.
I mean, as I said, Miz has improved, so yeah, it's got to be funny. It's got to be hilarious. I mean, that's the Miz. That's how he does. So, I'm not surprised.
By the way, to you guys in the chat room, I'm going to ask you guys the same question as we talk about Monday Night Raw. And as you guys view the Superstar Shakeup between Raw and SmackDown, which show got the better trades? Raw and SmackDown, and why you guys think that? And if you put your comments in the chat room, whether it be on YouTube or Twitch, I will read them out loud here on the show because the phone line is going to be currently occupied by my friend James here since I'm all by my lonesome. I got to say, Dean Ambrose came out and actually played along that it was Cena and Nikki Bella. I thought it was. By the way, Maurice looks really hot in Nikki Bella gear. I'm going to tell you that right now. I mean, gaga, Can I do that on public access? Gaga. Well, I'm the only one here, so gaga. But you know what I mean, right?
Yes, I know what you mean.
But apparently, I don't know what they were doing with this when Ambrose and Miz and Maurice, but they would conclude the segment with Ambrose giving Miz the dirty deeds. So I thought that was just, kind of hilarious. But wait, Chauncey has a comment for us. He says, "Payback is a Raw pay-per-view. Why Bray Wyatt versus Randy, Mr. RKO Orton? Why they do it at a Raw pay-per-view Payback? Why not SummerSlam this year? Hashtag save SummerSlam main event." They're not doing it at Payback, as far as I know, Chauncey.
No. That's a confirmed match for Payback. The SmackDown World Title, since we don't have the Universal Title, Brock Lesnar, it's going to be defended at a Raw event because there's a Raw superstar involved. Why not?
I don't know. I don't know. This is news to me. This is news to me, to be honest, because that's ridiculous. Keep your branded titles on your branded shows. What's going on here?
But remember, where's the Universal title?
On Brock Lesnar, we probably won't see him until 2018.
Exactly. Thank you.
It literally makes no sense, guys and gals. It literally makes no sense. But anyway, the New Day, in the form of Xavier Woods and Big E, because Kofi Kingston's injured, would take on the Revival. What are your thoughts about the Revival being on Monday Night Raw?
It helps the Raw Tag Team division. I mean, I understand you're going to have Hardy's Club, Enzo, and Cass, but having the Revival, it really helps not only them, but the Tag Team division, because they can just, straight up, beat you up. They don't need to do no, promos and stuff. They just want to beat you up, basically.
Yep, definitely. The finish of the match will be the Revival hitting the Shatter Machine on Xavier Woods to pick up the win.
No, hey, Kofi was there. He's just in the blow-up.
Oh, God. I'm on public access right now, James.
Hey,
you're going to get me in trouble. I just took over as producer. You're going to get me in trouble.
Okay, sorry.
All right, up next it was Austin Aries and TJ Perkins. Now, what I found interesting, they had a little bit of a backstage confrontation between them and Neville before the match, and I didn't really take anything from it. I didn't think WWE was going to play anything on it, but after the match, by the way, Perkins gave a small package pin to Aries, so TJ Perkins picks up the win. But what we had after the match now was an apparent heel turn by TJ Perkins, and it was more evident than that he was turning heel from the promo he did for 205 Live on SmackDown Live when he was trash talking a gentleman, Jack Gallagher. And I gotta wonder, James, is this right? Can TJ Perkins sell himself as a heel?
I mean, let's say this: his babyface run in WWE is getting a little bit stale, so having him turn heel should be the best option right now. But I just wanted to see how they do it as a heel form.
Now, up next, Seth Rollins wanted to talk about what his future was going to be and whether or not he was going to be leaving Raw to SmackDown. He said, no, I'm not leaving. Kurt Angle would actually came out and actually confirmed that Seth Rollins would be staying a part of Monday Night Raw. And then out would come Samoa Joe, who had no appearance at WrestleMania, even though he was a major factor in the storyline of Seth Rollins and Triple H. WWE, get your act together.
Thank you, Billy.
And apparently now they're going to be going ahead with this angle. More than likely, this is going to happen. A match between these two are going to be happen at Payback. But I gotta say, Samoa Joe played a big factor in the injury storyline to Seth Rollins, and for him to not even have an appearance at WrestleMania, to me,
What's up with that?
Yeah, exactly. That kind of snubbed me the wrong way, in my personal opinion. But up next we had Charlotte and Nia Jax. I don't know why, but apparently they thought this was going to be, a good match, heel versus heel. Did anyone really care? Not really. Nia Jax would end up hitting.
You know why we didn't care? Guess who was going to win?
Nia Jax.
There you go.
Up next, we had Finn Balor and Steroids McGee, Jinder Mahal, and we just talked about that match. But Balor would still end up going over. And one of the big problems, a lot of the IWC, from what I've seen, James, is a lot of people are wondering about when is Balor going to get pushed back towards the Universal Championship. But the issue that they have with that is the believability of somebody like Finn Balor taking the title off of somebody like Brock Lesnar.
You have a point right there. I mean, look at it this way. Roman Reigns is going to get that title before Finn Balor.
Yeah. But if WWE does it, I mean, it's no disrespect to Finn Balor. Finn Balor is an amazing athlete. He's an amazing performer. But he's 199 pounds soaking wet. Brock Lesnar is just as fat as I am these days and well over 300 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of get what I'm going with that?
Yeah. And Vince McMahon loves the big guys, so yeah, you're not going to see him with Finn Balor with the title anytime soon.
Chauncey said, I'll be back. I got to let my dog outside. Okay, Chauncey, that's cool. Anyway, back to Monday Night Raw. We had The Miz versus Sami Zayn. I thought this was a pretty decent match, to say the least. It was Zayn with a victory roll pin on Miz to pick up the win. Now, this is the one thing I was talking about at the start of the show. There's actually a petition now, 2 petitions, James. There are 2 petitions. One, to get Braun Strowman fired for attacking Roman Reigns the way he did. And right now it's got like 2,500 signatures. This is no joke. No joke.
Another one, and another petition to have Roman Reigns fired.
Yeah, and I've already gave my opinion about that. But again, like I said with Corey, James, you can even see the jack that was on the ground that was helping Strowman pick up the ambulance.
Yeah, and this is this point in time where there's just I hate the IWC sometimes. It's just like I understand the believability, but come on. And you can even see Roman Reigns getting out the dang ambulance. I mean, why is the door magically open? And then all of a sudden you see it next time it's magically closed. What the hell? Boss Reverend didn't even close the damn thing.
Yeah, it was absolutely ridiculous. WWE needs to do a better job on their execution of angles, because this one was just absolutely horrendous. First off, you know that this wasn't live, that this was taped. This was not happening live at the show. And by the way, I wonder how many people actually called the number that was on the back of the ambulance Monday night, because people have had there's been a history of fans actually calling, saying, "Oh, is Roman Reigns okay? Is he fine?" Now we all know the real reason why Roman Reigns was taken off TV was to get the heat off of him. A lot of these smarts.
You're never going to get the heat off of Roman, because he beat Taker. He's not going to get that heat anytime soon.
Then WWE just needs to turn him flat out heel. Have him be heel.
That's right. That's right, Billy. Preach.
You'll see, the only atheist you'll see other than Jerry DeWitt preach on here. Let's get back to Monday Night Raw and the 8-man tag match. It would be Cesaro and Sheamus teaming up with the Hardy Boys, who are semi-broken, I guess, taking on the Shining Stars and Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson.
Can I ask why we have this match?
Time filler.
Okay.
Time filler.
Okay, that's all I need to know. Thank you, Billy.
Yep. And the finish of the match would be the Hardys hitting the Twist of Fate Swanton Bomb combination on Epico. So Cesaro and Sheamus, who are the #1 contenders for the Raw Tag Team Championship, and the Hardy Boys, the Raw Tag Team Champions, are your winners. What was your reaction to actually seeing the Hardy Boys come out at WrestleMania? Were you somewhat surprised? Because I was really surprised to see them come out, because I thought Matt Hardy and Jeff Hardy wanted to kind of like retain creative control over their characters, because the one thing that was bringing so much attention to them was their broken characters.
I mean, that's the main issue, is that as long as the lawsuit is going, they can't use the broken characters.
Wait, what lawsuit? With them and Anthem
lawsuit.
Entertainment?
Yes. That one.
Okay.
Because, that's as long as that lawsuit, that they can't use the broken. But anyway,
Don't they have like complete creative license control and copyright ownership of the broken characters? Because I've heard a lot of people have saying
they put in the trademark to the trademark company, but Anthem is basically like Anthem saying, "Hey, we were the one who created. We have that authority. You can't use that outside."
And they're going to lose that, because Matt Hardy was doing the broken gimmick long before Anthem Sports Entertainment came into control of Impact Wrestling. That's ridiculous. They're going to lose that lawsuit. How can they say that they have control, that they created the broken characters, when...
Because they own the company that created it.
Well, Dixie Carter didn't do a very good job of contracts and whatnot, because as far as I know, Matt and Jeff had complete creative control and ownership of the characters of their broken gimmick. And for them to actually have to go to court over this, I think it's absolutely ridiculous. Because if Anthem Sports Entertainment said that Impact Wrestling had full creative license and control over the broken characters, then we wouldn't see them in Ring of Honor as their broken characters. We wouldn't see them in other promotions.
The thing is that they did like for like 1 or 2 shows, and then like the other half they couldn't do it because of the lawsuit. They did kind of still did like the whole delete stuff, but
because all of the fans out there at WrestleMania, and every time they come out on Monday Night Raw, delete. And we kind of saw a little bit of it. We kind of saw a little bit of it, if you remember last week after on Raw Talk about when Matt Hardy was next. How does it feel to be back and have the Raw Tag Team Championship? He said it was simply intoxicating. So that was a little bit of a hint of the broken character right there.
Yeah, he's doing it like hints here and there, especially on Twitter. But he can't fall out, go, wonderful.
Yeah, I know. And Chauncey says he's back. Well, welcome back, Chauncey. Now, next on Monday Night Raw, we would get the women's division. Bayley and Sasha Banks would come out, and then out would come the debut of Alexa Bliss, much to the surprise of everybody. Then Mickie James would also make her presence known, and then Nia Jax just flat out ran over everybody and just ate them for lunch.
That's right. And this is where we got to find out who will be Bayley's opponent in her hometown of San Jose at Payback.
Yep. It all depends on what they do on Monday Night Raw this week, or next week rather.
I think Nia Jax is gonna be the one that's fighting Bayley.
Yeah, because they're probably going to work an angle with Bliss and Mickie James, because I think they probably want to see that angle out to fruition before they actually end it and have one of them go after a belt.
Maybe it's going to be mostly Alexa going after Bayley, but because Mickey's going to be the face, and it's more or a tweener. But I see more of Alexa first than Mickey, and then Sasha gets her turn and.
And then finally on Monday Night Raw, champion versus champion would close out the show. Kevin Owens and Dean Ambrose. And I gotta say, thoroughly entertained. I thought it was a great match for what was supposedly for now going to be Kevin Owens' final match on a Monday Night Raw, since he's now booked over to SmackDown Live. And a lot of people say, "Oh, why aren't you saying to pay?" Again, like I said, the rumors are there that Jericho is going to be on tour. Just saying. What else can we say about that one? But are you kind of glad that they did a flip-flop of the secondary titles, flipping them back, like Intercontinental title now on Raw and U.S. title on SmackDown?
I thought Dean Ambrose was going to lose the title at WrestleMania against Baron Corbin. And
Corbin was my pick, to be honest.
Yeah, Corbin was my pick, too. But it was surprising that Dean Ambrose. But then when you saw Dean Ambrose with the IC title, I'm like, okay. And then you see and then Tuesday night you see Kevin Owens come out. So, okay, yeah, they are switching. My standpoint was like, why did they do that with the Intercontinental Championship? But then when I saw SmackDown, I'm like, oh, they are doing the switch. I'm surprised though, but okay. That's just not in my head, and I accept it.
Now, when we get to SmackDown Live and we see Kevin Owens like dressed in a suit and everything like that, do you think that was WWE's creative attempt to kind of introduce a new angle, a new character of sorts with Kevin Owens?
No, Kevin Owens still Kevin Owens.
And you sound somewhat disappointed. You sound somewhat disappointed about that.
He shaved the beard, man. Shave the beard.
Yeah, that's probably the one thing that Andy liked about Kevin Owens was his beard.
To be honest, it's like it's the same Kevin Owens. He's like, "Oh, I'm the face of America." He said that all. "Oh, I'm the face of America." He said that on SmackDown. Same person.
Yep. First match on SmackDown Live this week. And by the way, they used the opening segment to set up a triple threat number one contenders match for the U.S. title. Baron Corbin, Sami Zayn, and AJ Styles. First match would be Randy Orton versus Eric Rowan. I got to say, great match. Then, of course, Bray Wyatt would make his presence known. And then Rowan would end up hitting Randy Orton with steel steps, causing a disqualification. And Eric Rowan just stood there and just wondering, will something come out of my beard? There's nothing else we could go on beyond that. The Usos would defend the SmackDown Tag Team Championship against American Alpha. I thought they were going to actually flip-flop the titles between these two because they did it before WrestleMania. They didn't have a rematch at WrestleMania, which I thought was a mistake. I mean, if the Raw Tag Team Championship was defended at WrestleMania, why not have the SmackDown Tag Team Championship defended as well?
Because they want to do a surprise of the Hardys, who lost the Ring of Honor Tag Team Championship in a ladder match, win the Raw Tag Team title in a ladder match. I don't know.
Yep. But anyway, the Usos would retain against American Alpha, and then that's when they would introduce Primo and Epico. But the way they presented them as they were beating down the American Alpha, James, it kind of leads me to believe that the Shining Stars gimmick has gone bye-bye.
I wait for next SmackDown to make a judgment.
Yeah, because right now this is all... Go ahead.
I reserve all right to make a judgment after I see next week's SmackDown.
Now, Jinder Mahal would take on Mojo Rawley. What is this? What is this thing with them and Rob what's his face from the New England Patriots?
Rob Gronkowski. Rob Gronkowski and Mojo Rawley are the best of friends. Not as big as a friend like Tom Brady and Gronkowski, but they are friends in real life.
Yep, and if we thought that Mahal hit Balor with a shot, man, to finish it with Mojo Rawley and that running forearm on Mahal, damn. That's all I can say about that.
All I can say is how the hell Mojo Rawley get a push being the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal winner?
I have no idea, but I think the same thing. Chauncey says, we need Sunday Night Heat back on USA, where it all started. I don't think that's going to... I think they still do a Heat, though. I think they do it on WWE Network, but I don't know at what time.
They do Super...
I know Superstars.
But they do main event. But
yeah, they do main event. It's not Heat, it's main event. But,
I think Wednesday after NXT or Thursday.
I'm not sure, but...
Nobody really cares. Nobody cares.
Yep, so... now, I'm going to let you take this next part because it was Shane McMahon addressing the women's division of SmackDown Live. But how did you like the way he kind of introduced Tamina and Charlotte to the SmackDown women's roster?
It was intriguing, really, with Tamina. I think the thing people heard Charlotte's music, and then you see Tamina and come out with her music, with Tamina's music, not Charlotte. So it's like everybody's like, "Oh, it's a tease," but it's like you have to think about this. Really, is that you have now 4-person and a guy with no chin, who we could now call a diva.
Oh, I hate him so much. So much, I hate him.
No chin. Don't say that out loud because he could hit you with no chin music. Anyway,
Chauncey says he watches Sunday Night Heat on YouTube.
I don't know. With Tamina, it's kind of expected she was going to come back because she was cleared to compete again. And it's understandable that she was going to be on the SmackDown brand. But Charlotte, yeah, as Shane said, it was a big acquisition because Charlotte was the main focus on Raw with the women's division. So having her move to SmackDown and feuding with her friend Becky and then people like Naomi, Nikki if she comes back, and like Tamina and Natalia, it helps out a lot with her. Because Charlotte, yeah, we're sick and tired of seeing her against Sasha, Bayley, Nia. She needs new competition, and it helps out.
And if you guys are watching in the chat room, like I said, I read all comments out loud. We have 6 minutes left in the show this week. Up next, the other acquisition from NXT, Ty Dillinger, the Perfect 10, taking on Aiden English. Now, I'm not sure what the circumstances were behind the dismissal of Simon Gotch from WWE.
He's rubbing people the wrong way. That's what the rumor is.
Yeah, so again, it's just rumors, nothing substantiated, and I doubt WWE will kind of release those details to anyone anytime soon, unless Simon Gotch himself decides to talk about it after 90 days.
He will. He's talking about it soon, actually.
Yeah, because I think he can't really appear anywhere or even talk about it until after those 90 days.
All right.
Yeah, because they all had that 90 days clause in all of their contracts, right?
Yeah. Anyway, right, moving on. We have
we are running out of time. Ty Dillinger will hit the tiebreaker on Aiden English. I think English has now reverted back to his singing gimmick, as we saw on SmackDown Live this past week. So Ty Dillinger is your winner. And then the confrontation with Dolph Ziggler and Shinsuke Nakamura, again, to me personally, that tells me that they're going to be working Nakamura and Ziggler, because you can kind of sniff out a storyline when one is starting, James, don't you? You know what I'm talking about?
I thought it would be Miz and Nakamura after what he did, but after Miz got moved and Ziggler came out and did this, yeah.
Yep, and now to the big main event, the triple threat match for the #1 contendership to the United States Championship. Baron Corbin, Sami Zayn, AJ Styles. I got to say, great main event. I was thoroughly enjoyed watching this match, but I was kind of surprised a little bit at the outcome with AJ Styles hitting the phenomenal forearm on Sami Zayn to pick up the win. Were you a little bit taken by the fact that AJ Styles is now the #1 contender?
I was, but at the same time, if you think about this, if AJ Styles wants to fight for the WWE Championship, the world title, he's going to have to wait until that match at Payback. Then he can put his list, say, hey, I want to fight for the WWE Championship. Actually, he might have to wait until Backlash, because most likely that's when this U.S. title, because you have to wait for Kevin Owens to Christian.
Well, the final thing we like to talk about on here, James, is SmackDown versus Raw. Who won? This week, who won?
For Shakeup, it's Raw. For overall matches, it's SmackDown.
I gotta say it's a toss-up personally between me, especially with everything that's happened between Raw and SmackDown. If you guys want to know what happened on NXT, well, if you're watching this on my YouTube channel on WGS-TV, the only way to do that is to stay tuned to tomorrow, as I will have my review of NXT exclusively on youtube.com/WrestleGamer tomorrow, probably around 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. It all depends on when I get a chance to watch it, record, and upload the video. It's kind of a long process if you guys know what I'm talking about, if you've done YouTube. Before we go, I want to say one thing. To those of you who follow my channel adamantly on YouTube, I want to apologize. This morning, I've kind of I made a mistake this morning, and I flipped my channel to private and changed all of my videos. It's over 2,000 videos to private, and I was ready. I was really ready to walk away from everything. But a group of my friends from the community that's known as the Nugget Army on Twitch, and the one gentleman by the name of Patrick Static, he and them took the time to basically talk me out of it, to kind of reignite that passion again for what I do here with gameplays, wrestling talk, wrestling commentary, and guess what? They did just that. They reignited the passion that's in me, and I promise you guys right here on Sports Entertainment Tonight, I will not make that mistake again. I will not let my confidence waver for anybody for any reason. You're going to see more of the WrestleGamer here on Sports Entertainment Tonight. You're going to see more of me here on AOC and more of me right here on WGS-TV. The WrestleGamer is here to stay. And I promise you guys, you are going to get grade A content from your friendly neighborhood WrestleGamer. So with that being said, James, I'm sorry, we got less than 30 seconds left. So with that being said, I want to thank everybody who joined me this week. That's That Guy Tone, Cam Troy, Chauncey Bullock, and Code Lyons for hosting the show. And for James and for Corey, I'm your friendly neighborhood WrestleGamer, and we'll see you next week, hopefully with Nick Nene Fuquay. Until then, bye, guys!